is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America, billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they in fact pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24% or 25%, either one of those numbers, they've raised $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right, he did beat Medicaid.
Hello, American Patriots, and welcome to the Douglas Ducote Show. You had many places to be tonight. You chose to be here with me, and for that, I am forever grateful. You know, when Trump turns and looks at him, I can just imagine what he's thinking in his head. That was just one of the many funny moments that took place during the debate. And the Democrats are trying to say that, hey, it's just one debate, all right? He just had one bad moment, 90 minutes. No, we've watched for 3.5 years this train wreck take place. So before we dive deep into this, I'd like to say thank you for all those that are that hung in there while I was gone, for coming into the community section when I make posts there and saying hello, and for all those that reached out in text messages and emails and the comments on the videos on Facebook, all over social media about the death of Sir Peanut. It is greatly appreciated. Losing Peanut was something that was very, very difficult here with our family. I'll tell you, I took it the hardest. I've had him with me for 19 years. Many of you have seen him on my show here. You've seen him in videos I've done. And I understand that there were lots of people besides just us and our family that were sad to see him go. I had always said that if it reached a point with his kidney failure that was taking place, if he appeared to be in pain, then I would make the decision to let him cross over to the Rainbow Bridge. And in my own selfish way, I kept putting that off and putting it off until it finally dawned on me that it's not fair to him to be in pain like this. So we made the decision we did, and Peanut is over there at the Rainbow Bridge with his sisters Sally and Lucky, and I'm sure will be waiting on us whenever our day on Earth is done, or our time on Earth is done. So anyhow, we took some time off after that and did a little grieving, and also tried to get involved with some fun things around here. We bought a boat, a new boat, the old Ranger, 1977 Ranger IO was the last boat that we had, and it's gone. So we upgraded to a real nice boat to take out on the rivers here and also out in the lake. And we'll probably take it down to Florida with us sometimes and take it out in the Gulf as well there. So we'll be sharing those videos with you as well. Somebody said, hey, why don't you do a live show from the boat? That's a great idea. We may just do that. So anyhow, thank you. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. And I know that there's been so much that has taken place in the past week that I've been away from the show. I've tried to keep up with it the best I can. But we're going to focus tonight on this show on what is obvious to everybody in America, and that is the sharp decline of Joe Biden, mental decline, something that we've all been watching. They're trying to, like I say, frame it around just, oh, it was just one debate. How can you possibly just, one 90-minute period of time where he made gaffes? And no, that's not the case at all. It wasn't just that. We've watched it happen time and time again. Over and over again, we have watched this man mentally disintegrate in front of us. And look, to me, that's elder abuse. What Jill Biden is allowing to happen is elder abuse. How dare her do this to the person that supposedly she loves? I would never want my family to put me out in front of the public for any kind of speeches or doing something that's going to bring attention to me if I'm not all mentally there and I'm not capable of putting together sentences, and I make up stories and I just ramble about stuff that doesn't make any sense and mumbling and all the things that we've watched him do every week. It's not just 90 minutes. It's been going on for 3.5 years, and we've watched it time in and time out. I mean, why can't those that are so pro-Biden right now understand factual information about the guy's mental decline? I mean, look, he's got 2 kids, 2 sons, and a daughter. We won't even go there. We've talked about that in the past. Her claims that she was sexually molested by her dad. But Hunter Biden, one son, joined the United States military and gets kicked out because he tests positive for cocaine, and then goes on this binge of self-destruction. And then there's the other son, Beau Biden, who went into the military and served honorably. And then after he got out, several years later, as a civilian, he dies here in America of brain cancer. And we have Joe Biden, when he's telling the story about his son Beau in front of veterans or in front of military members or their families, telling them that his son died in Iraq, serving in the Iraqi war. If you don't know how your son died or where he died, there's a problem there, and the dots aren't being connected. That's sad. And nobody seems to care in his circle. Now, we've got lots of Democrats that we're going to talk about tonight that have come out in their own record saying this shit show has to stop. We can't continue down this road if we plan to beat Donald Trump this time. Because not only has the American people had 3.5 years to watch hope and change and what Biden could do, they watched it and realized he can't. And he didn't do much, if anything, to make this country better under any circumstances. And at what point do you step in and say, we can't keep going? You've got Democrats that are on record saying we can't keep going down this road anymore. And we've got others now that came out today reversing course after talking to the White House. It's pretty sad. And so I want you to take a look real quick at just a few things that I threw together recently that we watched happen that's proves the point that it's not just one 90-minute debate. So let's take a look at this.
Good afternoon, folks. I'm not introduced to me, Mark is. So thank you all. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know about you,
but I'm going to go to bed. Okay, have a good time. Thank you for your service from the bottom of my heart. Really. Happy Thanksgiving. See you all. Oh, who am I giving this to?
We are a community that relies on family, on Ohio.
The middle class was built by the middle class, and the unions built the middle class. Two of the great artists of our time representing the groundbreaking legacy of hip-hop in America, LL Cool J. You could say even this harder than getting a ticket to the Renaissance tour or Britney's tour. She's down in, it's kind of warm in Brazil right now. And by the way, with other movies she's earned a Golden Globe and a Primetime Emmy. That's me. Together here in Cambodia, I look forward to building even stronger progress than we've already made. And I want to thank the Prime Minister for Colombia's leadership in the ASEAN.
To say to President Biden, can you hear me, President Biden? This is a historical moment for Brazil and for the U.S. President Biden, can you hear me? You can? Yes, good.
Well, we're going to win and we're going to help. We have plans to build a railroad from the Pacific all the way across the Indian Ocean. About making sure that the third world, the Southern Hemisphere had access to change it, had access. It wasn't confrontational at all.
Thank you, everybody. This ends the press conference. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alan. Happy birthday to you.
Instead of cutting them, like Congressman Trump and both were going to do. President Harris is there to make sure you do this the right way. Leading tech companies like Anthropic, and I'm going to mispronounce. I'm not going to try. More than half the women in my cabinet, more than half the people in my cabinet, more than half the women in my administration are women. 68 times, 68 hours, 68 times, more than 68 hours. All right, God save the Queen, man.
God save the Queen, man. It's embarrassing. And that's just a little over 3 minutes worth of clips. There are hundreds of things just like that that is very disturbing. And that's where the problem is. It's the bigger picture of 3.5 years of these gaffes. Not just a very short 90-minute debate. That was bad enough. That was an embarrassment beyond belief. But it's everything else that we've watched happen. Add to that, and then the Stephanopoulos interview shortly thereafter, which, by the way, he came out. George Stephanopoulos came out yesterday and revealed, and this is TMZ has the video if you want to see it tonight. Look it up on TMZ. Quote, I don't think he can serve 4 more years. That's after interviewing ABC News anchor George Stephanopoulos. So President Biden's catastrophe performance at the debate, as well as the press interview with ABC, has sparked panic, as you can imagine, across the Democrat Party, with key Democrats looking into how to get Biden to abandon his reelection bid. Situation has plunged the party into crisis and threatening to drive a wedge between Biden loyalists and elected officials in swing districts ahead of next month's Democrat National Convention in Chicago. Biden's top campaign ads have been working damage control 24/7 with major donors, people that put in hundreds of thousands and millions to the Democrat Party, saying, we're not doing that anymore. Not with this guy. While the White House and Biden himself remain adamant he is the right man to lead the party against former President Trump. So, are there actual Democrats who are on record and say the past week saying that Biden should drop out? Yeah, there sure are. And I'll share their names and what they said. So you liberals out there can look it up and realize that, yes, there's a growing concern and a growing drumbeat from Democrats in the House and the Senate that have seen enough. Representative Lloyd Ducote, Democrat, Texas, said, I am hopeful that we will make the painful and difficult decisions to withdraw. I respectfully call on him to do so. Representative Raul Grievas, Democrat, Arizona, I'm going to support Biden, but I think that this is an opportunity to look elsewhere. What he needs to do is shoulder the responsibility of keeping that seat. And part of that responsibility is to get out of the race. Representative Steph Moulton, Democrat, Massachusetts. President Biden has done enormous service to our country, but now is the time for him to follow in one of our founders, George Washington's footsteps, and step aside and let new leaders rise and run against Donald Trump. Representative Mike Quintley, Democrat, Illinois. Mr. President, your legacy is set. We owe you the greatest debt of gratitude. The only thing that you can do now to cement that for all time and prevent utter catastrophe is to step down and let someone else do this. Representative Angie Craig, Democrat, Minnesota. As an elected leader, I feel a responsibility to be honest about what I believe, even when it's hard to hear. President Biden is a good man, and I appreciate his lifetime of service. But I believe he should step aside for the next generation of leadership. The stakes are just too high. Representative Adam Smith, Democrat, Washington. And he has health concerns as well. You saw that at the White House press conference today, where there were not clear answers given. So I just think at this point, there are other people that could deliver that message better, and the stakes are just so high. Representative Mike Swirl, Democrat, New Jersey. I realize this is hard, but we have done hard things in the pursuit of democracy since the founding of this nation. It is time to do so again. And because I know President Biden cares deeply about the future of our country, I'm asking that he declare that he won't run for re-election and will help lead us through a process towards a new nominee. And you can see that in the Associated Press where they printed it. Representative Gerald Nadler, Democrat, New York. Mark Tinko, Democrat, California. Representative Don Byers, Democrat, Virginia, expressed during a virtual meeting hosted by House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries on July 7th, just 2 days ago, that Biden should exit the presidential race as the Democrat nominee. And most of them said Harris should be that nominee. And now some of those same people are backtracking after being chastised by Biden himself in a Zoom meeting, as well as a letter he wrote to all of them, telling them how shameful it is that they're not standing behind him. Adam French, candidate for Colorado's 3rd Congressional District. I thank President Biden for his years of service, but the path ahead requires a new generation of leadership to take our country forward. Democrats who have raised concern, yet not come out plain and said, Biden, get out, like those I just read did. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Representative Maria Gluckskamp-Frezas, Representative Jared Golden, Representative Summer Lee, Representative James Claiborne, Senator Peter Welch, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, Governor Marie Haley of Massachusetts, Senator John Taser, Representative Susan Wall, Representative Ro Khan, Representative Jerry Conley, Representative Chris Pappas, Representative Gerald Hoffman, Representative Debbie Digwell, Representative Kate Porter, Representative Scott Peters, Representative Ann McLean Custer, Representative Don Davis, Representative Hillary Scholten, and Representative Jamie Raskin. And most shocking of all of them, Representative Adam Schiff, who said, and I quote, "The performance on the debate stage, I think, rightfully raises questions among the American people about whether the president has the vigor to defend Donald Trump. And this is an existential risk." Yeah, the drum beat's there. It's loud. And there's a lot of people not listening to what Joe Biden's saying. Now, the big question over the past few days, I've heard it all over the news, is who will they replace Biden with? Because the Democrats are moving in that direction. And it appears that they would like to see Kamala Harris be that person. I, for one, hope that the Democrats stay the course with Joe Biden. He got the votes. Stay the course. Why quit now? I told you many times that Joe Biden would not make it to the election, that he will take himself out or the Democrats will do it for him. Their big day in history is coming up real soon with their convention next month in Chicago. It's going to be something worth to watch, because there and then the Democrats have the power to remove him and put somebody else in that position. And we know that's what's happening behind the scenes. But I hope they stay the course. I really, really do. Not that I want to see Joe Biden continue to embarrass himself on the world stage, but because there's so many people now that have woken up to Biden's failed performance over 3.5 years and his mental decline over the past 3.5 years, that they're looking for anybody else. And they're going to vote Democrat, just not him. So if you pull Joe out and put anybody there, That's who they're going to put their vote on. It's not going to be Donald Trump. So let him stay there. If you're a conservative or Republican that's concerned that Joe Biden needs to go, let the Democrats eat themselves alive, because that's what they're doing right now. They laugh when the Republicans do it, and the Republicans do it from time to time. Lord knows, in the past couple of years, especially with the Speaker of the House debacle that we watched unfold. And the Democrats got a good laugh out of that. I would say this is our opportunity to laugh back, but it's really sad. I don't think it's funny to laugh at a person that's got a serious mental decline, regardless of what the reason is. And in this case, it's because age has caught up with him, and it's going to happen to all of us. Most Americans will reach a point, if they live a long, long life, that they're mentally not going to be there anymore. And that's a sad thing to see happen. Most people my age, I'm 62, have experienced it with a family or friend or maybe your parents. And then there's other people that live to be 100 that are mentally there and all sharp. Joe Biden's not that person. So, yes, it's funny to listen to the gaffes and the crazy things he says, like just recently, a few days ago, giving a speech in Pennsylvania, a campaign speech, when he said he's grateful that he's the first Black vice president, and then skipped and said, president of America, and then added woman. That's right. Joe Biden said he's happy that he's the first female Black president. And alarm bells aren't going off in Joe Biden's stockings? Are you kidding me? Anyhow, it's sad to watch this happen. You know, it really is. It's unfortunate that the circle around Joe Biden is so tight that he has no idea what's happening outside of his little bubble. Zero. No clue. And even if he did, I don't know. I don't know what he would do if he knew what's really happening with Republicans and Democrats that are watching this train wreck. Now, let's just talk for a moment about the actual things that Joe Biden said in this debate. And yes, Trump did too. Okay. That's not for this show tonight, because we're talking about what Biden did, because that's the big thing right now. The big push from the liberals and the liberal Democrats and CNN and MSNBC and ABC and CBS and NBC isn't stop Trump. It's how do we get rid of Biden? That's their networks that have turned against him over that 90-minute disaster that we watch. So let's add to that. Biden claimed during the debate that he lowered the cost of insulin shot from $400 to $15. His actual quote was, "We brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for an insulin shot as opposed to $400. That was an outright lie. The price of insulin has never been set at $400. And sadly, the debate moderators nor Donald Trump responded with, "The hell are you talking about?" Biden claimed he is endorsed by Border Patrol. Quote, "The Border Patrol endorsed me, endorsed my position." It's an outright lie. He made it up. The Border Patrol put out a tweet that night after the debate that said, to be clear, we never have and never will endorse Joe Biden. Trump was right there. He knows this. Both the moderators know this. Biden claimed illegal border crossings dropped 40% after his June 4, 2024 directive, just 23 days before the debate. This was another lie. Quote, I've changed the law in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. Per his own Homeland Security and Border Patrol, it will take 12 plus months to determine what kind of percentage his actions did to affect this kind of cause or percentage of droppage. There's no way possible to make such a claim from 23 days ago, a policy that you put into place. Nobody said shit. Why? Biden claimed historians voted Trump the worst president in history. Quote, Trump was the worst in all of American history. He can't argue the historians are wrong, but that's what they voted. Biden, by the way, was referring to the 2024 Presidential Greatness Project Expert Survey, which is a joint project from University of Houston, Professor Brandon Rodriguez, and Coastal Carolina University Professor Justin Vaughn. The survey respondents in late 2023 voted Trump in the lowest in overall presidential greatest, behind James Buckman, Andrew Johnson, and Franklin Pierce. Abraham Lincoln was rated the highest. Joe Biden failed to mention that he was ranked at number 14 of the worst presidents out of the 46 that they talked about. So not historians, but a poll done by two people working together that lumped Joe Biden into the same pool of disaster. Biden claimed Trump praised Hitler. Another lie. Quote, this is a guy who says Hitler has done some great good. Biden's quote of Trump is in reference to comments the former president made while talking to his White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly, allegedly, in 2018 during a trip to Paris, according to experts from an upcoming book by Wall Street Journal's reporter Michael Bender. Trump denied that he made the comments and denied that the conversation even took place. Liz Harrington, a Trump spokesperson, told CNN the claim is totally false. President Trump never said this. It is made up fake news, probably by a general who was incompetent and, oh, by the way, was also fired. Biden claimed Trump had sex with a porn star and then talked about how, his wife was pregnant and, basically digging at Melania. What a disgusting, pathetic thing to do. Well, we will never know what did or did not happen with Stormy Daniels, which isn't a crime, by the way. What Biden was referring to was the Stormy Daniels hush money trial. This trial had nothing to do with whether or not Donald Trump had sex with her. It was about a $130,000 payment that was arranged by Trump's then personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, ahead of the 2016 presidential election to stop a slanderous story from coming out and Trump having to defend it in the middle of an election. Something that many powerful people and politicians in Washington are guilty of. Paying both Democrats and Republicans have done this. to stop somebody, it's cheaper just to pay them to shut up than it is to go to court. Former President Bill Clinton comes to mind. Not once, but many times. Biden claimed Trump told Americans to inject bleach to treat COVID-19. Another outright lie. He said, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach in your arm and you'll be all right. Biden is referring to comments Trump made during a press conference early in the pandemic when he suggested disinfectants might be a possible treatment for COVID-19 because that's what some of the scientists were talking about at the time. But he overstates what Trump actually said. Trump's statement came after Bill Bryan, an Undersecretary of Science and Technology at the Department of Homeland Security, discussed a new study that found sunlight and household disinfectants effectively kill the virus on surfaces or in the air. And then I saw this disinfectant where it knocks it out in 1 minute. And is there a way that we could do something like that by injecting it inside somebody, maybe a cleaner, Trump said? Trump, though, never directly instructed people to inject bleach or any disinfectant into their system. It was a conversation in regards to what these scientists were talking about with disinfectants. It just gets more and more pathetic. Biden claimed that no American troops died anywhere in the world during his presidency. That was the biggest slap in the face to the Gold Star families and veterans. Quote, the truth is, I'm the only president in this century that doesn't have any, actually this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like former President Trump did. Biden's comment came following a reference to hostilities in Afghanistan during Trump's term in office. But the notion that no troops have died during Biden's watch in office is an outright lie. 13 U.S. service members were killed in just the exit from the airport in Kabul, Afghanistan, last August of 2021. When Biden was president, as thousands tried to flee the Taliban takeover of the country. Among the deaths were 11 Marines, a Navy hospital corpsman, and 1 Army soldier. Biden remarked on the deaths at the time, calling them tragic. Most recently, three U.S. Army Reserve soldiers were killed in January at a base in Jordan in what was described as a drone attack by Iran-backed militants. And 2 U.S. Navy SEALs died in the Middle East trying to board a ship carrying weapons to Hamas. And he's going to stand there and make a comment like that. And Donald Trump's not going to respond back to it and go, are you smoking Hunter's crack? And the 2 debate moderators that know these are lies, this isn't true, are just sitting there. Biden claimed Trump called Nazi protesters in the crowd in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017 very fine people. That's another lie that the left keeps pushing. Here's the facts. In comments to reporters following violent protests in Charlottesville, Virginia, over the removal of Confederate general statue, Trump said of marchers who protested the removal, you had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. During back and forth remarks with reporters, Trump also condemned the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists. And he said, not all of those people were neo-Nazis. Not all of those people were white supremacists by any stretch. Trump also said that counter-protesters across America had similar makeup of good and bad people. Some fine people and also troublemakers and bad people, which is true. So under the liberal logic, I guess when BLM is protesting or Antifa is protesting, and then they decide to start burning down stores and looting places, we can just blame everyone that was there in the protest as being a guilty person of doing these horrible things. Because that's what they're claiming that Trump did. That he said that all these neo-Nazis he supported them. He didn't. He called them out and said that not all of them were neo-Nazis, and they were not. Just like all the Black Lives Matter protesters aren't bad people. Just like all of the people that are marching with Antifa aren't all bad people. They have a warped ideology on shit, but they're not doing the horrible things that the other group is. So make up your mind, liberals. Do we lump them all in together or do we not? Anyhow. Registered Democrat and far-left liberal Jon Stewart, the host of The Daily Show, who's also full of Trump derangement syndrome, went off on Democrats in the White House for excusing what he described as a shocking display of cognitive difficulty by President Biden during the presidential debate. The point is, from a campaign based on honesty and decency, the spin about the debate appears to be blatant bullshit, and the redemption tour hasn't gone that much better. During his show yesterday, Stewart played a compilation of Biden clips where the president read pause and repeat in the lines of the teleprompter many times, along with other lapses in memories, including the time that he claimed to have spoken to a longtime dead former president of France. Stewart said Biden's poor performance was recognizable to, unfortunately, anybody who's dealt with aging parents, and it's a hard thing to watch. Stewart played clips of Democrats complaining that the media focused more on Biden showing them what they characterize as President Trump's pathological lying. Why doesn't anyone ever speak out about Donald Trump? The late night comedian sarcastically asked, before saying, oh, let's say every night for 10 fucking years, he added. The difference is Trump delivered at the debate to expectations. We expected him, this is Jon Stewart saying that, to be fucking crazy. But Biden's performance and inability to articulate at times was stunning. Like I could not believe what I was watching. But then it got worse, Stewart said. Rather than respecting the American people and having an honest and at least partial conversation about what we had all seen, we were told immediately, there are not the droids you're looking for. He played another compilation of Democrats making excuses for Biden's poor performance, blaming jet lag and a cold. Stewart hit back, noting that Biden had been home from Europe for almost 2 weeks before the debate. Get on board or shut the fuck up is not a particular compelling pro-democracy bumper sticker, nor is what are you going to do, Stewart said. He concluded, I am in no way saying that Biden has got to drop out, but we can't stress test this candidacy. Can't we open up the conversation? Do you understand the opportunity here? Do you have any idea how thirsty Americans are for any hint of inspiration or leadership and a release from this choice of magatomic and a suffocating geronoxy, whatever the hell that is, it is crushing our effing spirits. That's from Jon Stewart's The Daily Show. And that is just a very short piece of that. It went on for, it was like a 15-minute thing. You can look it up on social media. It's all over the internet. You can look it up on The Daily Show's website. You can look it up on YouTube. You can look it up on Rumble. Many people have posted it. It's available for you to see. I tried to post it here on my YouTube channel, but YouTube would not allow me to because it said it was copyrighted material. So I'll probably put it up on Rumble. So if you want to go there and check it out, please do. Also go to Rumble. If you haven't done that, sign up there. It's free, just like all these other social media sites. All you're going to do is watch videos, and I'll follow the Douglas Ducote Show on Rumble. Bottom line, do you think, regardless, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, conservative, liberal, just be honest. If you don't see an embarrassment train wreck taking place with Joe Biden, then you need to check your morals, your values, your beliefs, because they're not right. Anyone that sees what we've been watching for the past 3.5 years that can honestly say, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden because Joe Biden is mentally and physically fit to serve another 4 years, and he's done such great things for me and my family's lives over the past 3.5 years. Seriously? Who can say that with a straight face? I mean, if you're a millionaire or you have a shit ton of money and very little debt, then what's happening in this country doesn't affect you probably at all. And you're probably not paying attention to what Biden's saying anyhow. Too busy doing whatever you do with your millions of dollars. Do you think if the Democrats stay with Biden, what will happen in that November election coming up? I'm going to assure you, and I pray Biden stays in this race for this sole purpose, that Trump will wipe the floor with him this go around. Because America has had the opportunity to see what Joe Biden is capable of delivering in 3.5 years. Whether it's the border, whether it's our law enforcement, whether it's the attack on our top secret installations by China and sending balloons across America to spy on us, whether it's our open border and the fentanyl coming across, killing Americans, and illegal aliens killing Americans, whether it's the absolute disgraceful withdrawal from Afghanistan, doesn't matter. What he's done, we've all seen. We've watched it unfold. We've watched him destroy this country, not by himself, but also the people he put in positions of power. Can you name something that the transportation secretary's done that's helped us in 3.5 years? Mr. Pete Buttigieg? Seriously, what has he done? I think he took maternity leave. There's a picture of him holding a little baby with his partner. Not sure how that came to be. Talk about a picture of, it's kind of a little strange if you ask me. But whatever floats your boat. But he's done nothing to fix our infrastructure. This whole Build Back Better thing. What is built back? If anything, it's being destroyed. This whole diversity bullshit that we're watching happen in our military and government agencies and the FAA and the hiring of pilots to fly our airplanes, where you've got to hire people based on their gender and their sex and their race before you can hire somebody that's freaking qualified for the job. That's destroying our country. Would you want somebody to do brain surgery on you that only got that job because of their sexual orientation or their race over somebody that was the top of their class? No, you wouldn't. So why expect that elsewhere? I just don't get that, liberals. Wish I did. So as we get closer to this election, we're going to watch a lot of crazy things take place. What I don't want you to do is take your eye off the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the other things that are happening around us that's not making the front of the news anymore. And that is, we now know from the FBI and from the Border Patrol and from those in the Central Intelligence Agency that because of our open border, we do not know how many terrorists are now in our country waiting to kill us. We only know how many we've caught coming across. And that, as I've said for quite some time now, should be shocking to all Americans, regardless of your political party. You should be worried about this. You should also be worried about what this administration is doing when it comes to Ukraine and Russia, and what this administration is doing when it comes to Israel and Hamas and Iran and Hezbollah. If you look deep, you'll see that there is no leadership making the right choices and decisions to fix these problems. And it's going to come back to bite us in the ass. We cannot do another term of Democrats in charge, not the group that's out there right now. They're the ones responsible for screwing up everything, the dream of our forefathers. Anyway, you had many places to be tonight. You chose to be here with me, and for that, I am forever grateful. Thank you very, very much. It is good to be back. We're going to be talking about a lot in the coming days. I'll be back here on Thursday night. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Rumble. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on X, formerly Twitter. In the description of this video and all my shows, all my videos, you can see the other place you can follow me on social media. Please follow me there. I do the same thing. Whichever channel you're watching me on tonight, please subscribe to that channel. Hit the thumbs up button and leave comments and let me know what you thought of the show. and what we're currently experiencing in this country. I love to get your comments. And once again, I want to say thank you to everybody that reached out to me and my family with the passing of Sir Peanut. It's very, very much appreciated. And I can't begin to thank you enough for your gracious words of comfort for me and my family. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders, their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families, and our country. May God bless the United States of America, and may God bless each and every one of you. And I'll see you again Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. Thank you, everybody, and good night.